Hey, what's up guys? This is your friend captaindrs back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the virtual RAM. And if you have seen around from a couple of months and you can say a couple of weeks also, the virtual RAM is into the smartphones, and we have seen a lot of smartphones with this virtual RAM coming up, and even the oldest smartphones are getting updated with the virtual RAM. We're gonna talk about each and everything of the virtual RAM in this today's video. So without any further ado, let's quickly get started. Let's start off with the very first thing which you should be knowing about the virtual RAM, and that is, what is virtual RAM? You can say the definition of it, but if you know already about what is virtual RAM, it is as simple as simple. In the past also we have seen a virtual RAM concept with the RAM and stuff, and we're gonna talk about that in a bit. But what is virtual RAM? Virtual RAM is a technique in which small portion of the internal memory, or you can say the internal storage, is set aside and added to the RAM of the device. It's not a physical RAM which is available on onboard, which is not a physical RAM. This is a kind of say taken from a RAM, which is random memory, which is your storage such as 64 GB and 4 GB of RAM. Then there is 2 GB or 3 GB of virtual RAM. Then that 2 GB or 3 GB will be deducted from the 64 GB. It's kind of simple as that. So you might be also having a question in your head: is the virtual RAM a new day of thing? See, virtual RAM was already into the smartphones. It was there when 1 GB or 2 GB of RAM of smartphones were coming, and you can do a custom ROM in your phone, and you can add virtual RAM, which was also the same type of concept. Takes from your internal storage and add it to the RAM. There were storage options where like 1 GB of RAM with the 8 GB of internal storage, 2 GB 32, 216, anywhere something like that. So it was kind of a concept like that, and it was a kind of a very successful in that time. But in today's time, it has its own ups and downs, which we're gonna be talking in a bit. But the virtual RAM is kind of say in past was really good, and it wasn't a feature which comes with the smartphone. It was a kind of you have to install a custom ROM or update a custom ROM onto your smartphone, which was kind of hard for some users. But if you are onto the ROM, then it was kind of a simple. So it was kind of like that. Even I had did it some of my really old smartphone, and very my favorite was the HTC and Lenovo based smartphones, which was able to handle this customs really easily. But in past it was a nice thing, but in today's time, as I told you, it has its own ups and downs. Is it good to have a virtual RAM on your smartphone? See, it's not anything which only certain amount of smartphones are able to have. From a range of under 10,000 or even say above 50,000 INR, you can get this virtual RAM type of smartphones really easily. Even the smartphones which weren't having this virtual RAM update, after the updates of the many brands, it has been shifted to the virtual RAM. Such as, if I have to say a really bad example of mine, which is the Samsung Galaxy M31s, which I have been using from a couple of times, and this guy was been so updated with the ramplus, where you can select a couple of type of RAM and upgrade it. But my version is 8 GB, and I don't need any type of RAM plus or anything on the top of it. Something like virtual RAM, it's kind of a normal one. 8 GB is completely sufficient. But this kind of say it has been pushed into a lot of smartphones, and many users have been shifting to this virtual RAM type of concept. It's just taking from your internal storage and adding to your normal age RAM. The way of advertising of the virtual RAM is been so kind of a really bad. I have seen the really false type of advertisement going on. 7 GB of RAM on the smartphone box, or you can say they push it on the smartphone's header poster that we have this 7 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM under 10,000, and that the marketing key of that smartphone is that 8 GB of RAM. But when you buy this phone, it is a normal age 4 GB or 3 GB of RAM inside of it, and by the virtual RAM you can go up to the 8 GB or 7 GB, something like that. I've seen a lot of smartphones coming up with it. At first it was showing the hash on the top of it, but now many smartphone boxes aren't even having. But what if I am buying a smartphone, I will definitely go ahead and ask the person who is selling what type of RAM actually it is having and what type of RAM storage it is having. So it is kind of satisfying my needs and my stuff, then only I will be going ahead. Otherwise, if there is a 8 GB of virtual RAM with a something like a 64 GB of internal storage, then it definitely going to be occupy some sort of storage from my internal storage and adding to the RAM, which is kind of upside down, but it's kind of going under 10,000. We have seen a lot of smartphones, and even about 10,000 or to 15,000, I have seen a lot of smartphones. I haven't seen a lot of smartphones of 15,000 doing, because that range is kind of a, people are kind of clever enough to get a good quality smartphones, and under that range is kind of a people who don't know a lot of knowledge about the tech, and they go for this RAM type of advertisement and might get caught in that advertisement. And after having that around 2 to 3 GB of internal RAM, which is kind of not enough for current, as per me, the usage of going on. Should you go and update your phone with the virtual RAM and get 4 GB or 6 GB? And if you have your, if you have your needs, then should we go ahead? As per me, you should not, because that definitely going to be occupying your internal storage. Yeah, but if you have around 256 GB of internal storage, then definitely you're going to be having a good GB of 8 GB of RAM and around a good quality of processor too. And in that range, I believe that you don't need to update this ramplus or something like that. But if you are into the testing and test of stuff, it's nice. But in some sort of usage, you don't basically need this virtual RAM or RAM plus anything, memory plus something like that. It's just for onboard concept, and in some bases also this virtual RAM and stuff doesn't even work when you have a lot of apps open in the background, which is kind of not good. And even in some processors which aren't even capable of this occupying this much amount of RAM on the top of their processor and opening a lot of application in background, in that basis this RAM plus is completely going to be clashing itself, or you can say this virtual RAM will be completely going to be crashing itself. And in some bases the processor are that much capable, then even if, and it has been so optimized for their actual onboard RAM, and it is good enough to have yourself satisfied with the onboard RAM, that you don't need this RAM plus, or you can say virtual RAM update memory plus something like that. Every brand has its own name of advertising this virtual RAM in their own way, but in some sort of sense it's just a virtual RAM. That was all about the virtual RAM, some ups and some downs. In some sort of basis, it's good to have a virtual RAM if your processor is capable and you aren't satisfied with the onboard RAM, then you can go ahead and upgrade yourself. But in some sort of basis, if the phone isn't even satisfied, and if you don't have a lot of hardcore work to do on your phone, then this virtual RAM isn't a right enough thing. But yeah, in some sort of basis, it has its own ups and downs, and it's kind of a nice concept that the brands are actually putting itself on the phone nowadays. And in past, it was we have to install a custom ROM to get ourselves a virtual RAM. So it's kind of say a nice thing, but it was there in past. So if you know. So it wasn't anything like that. So yeah, this was all about the virtual RAM. This was captaindrs. You're watching krsndrs. Like, share, subscribe. Gonna be appreciating our work, and pressing the bell icon. You can get yourself stay tuned to the channel for more amazing content like this. I'll catch you in the next video. Stay safe, stay connected. Peace out.